Check this out, fellers. Troy noticed something quite interesting on this. Troy, you want to tell us what we found here?
This is what we call the sideways drywall screw method. And you have the loose battery terminals.
So these are referred to as temporary battery posts, okay? These are supposed to get you out of a pinch. Now, as we can see, these are used as permanent repairs everywhere. That's permanent. These aren't temporary, but they're specifically supposed to be temporary until you can either replace the lug on the end of it or put a new cable in there. But what happens here is folks will hook these things up and they just tighten down that stud until it clamps the daylights out of the post on the battery. And what happens is after it stretches that lead on those ears from over tightening it, this thing becomes loose. And when it's loose, after it's been stretched, you can't stretch it anymore. You can try to tighten that some more, but you're just pulling the lead apart now at that point. So what happened here is somebody took this deck screw, drywall screw thing. Ooh, Torx bit too. I like these ones. These are good screws. And they ran that thing down in there with an impact in between the stud and this to try to lock it in or whatever, which you can see is highly ineffective. It's just not going to cut it. And the reason that we bent it over, do you know why it's bent over?
For hood clearance.
Oh yeah? Hood clearance, so we don't shut the hood and then arc the thing out and then burn your truck down?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Ford.
Well, yeah, I know, but you can't hate on certain manufacturers. Those days are over with. You know why?
Why's that?
Because we have Chevy transmissions inside of Ford trucks, Ford transmissions inside of Chevy trucks, because Ford and Chevrolet built that 10-speed together. So it's the same transmission. So there's no brand loyalty amongst themselves. And on top of that, the Allison transmission in the Duramax 2500 and 3500s is not an Allison.
What is it?
They purchased the rights to brand it as an Allison in order to conflate the name with the product, because people buy based on product loyalty. But how are we supposed to be loyal to a brand when they're not even loyal to themselves? Yeah, the rabbit hole gets worse on that, but there is no brand loyalty. Oh, the 6.6 liter gas engine going in the GMC Chevrolet 25 and 3500s. What does 6.6 say to you?
Normally Duramax.
Duramax, right? It's a gasser. But to the uninitiated, to the uninformed consumer, they see that 6.6, they're like, yeah, that's the one. That's the legendary 6.6 Allison. It's not a Duramax, not an Allison.
Huh.
So much for brand loyalty.
Wait. Hold on. Let's address the 3 liter. If we're going there. The 3 liter baby Duramax.
That's not a Duramax. They just called it a Duramax. There's nothing about that is a Duramax whatsoever. Nothing.